Hey, 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 how long the fire? Hey, hey, it's burning through everything. Together we will never grow tired, baby. If we remember this, how long the fire? Hey, hey, it's burning through everything. Together we will never grow tired, baby. If we remember this, yeah. But come on.
Alex Maher, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
The performance just now is sick. You can see the whole thing on a separate video. And oh yeah, let's get into it. You have my main thing I'm curious about is how did you, what was the progression to get to this level? Because I don't think you woke up one day and you're just like, I'm gonna learn sax and guitar and drums and keys and put it all together and create funky house stuff.
Yeah, it like progressed naturally. I'll you know, it totally was natural. Like
Let's get a little
yeah,
closer.
sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
And yeah, and like I don't know, I started playing several instruments like in grade 6. So like when I was like about 11, growing up in Toronto, in North York, they started it in grade 6 back then, and they gave you your top 3 picks. And my first pick was drums, second pick was sax, and third pick was French horn. I think because of Star Wars, because like all the cool stuff. Gladly, I got my second pick, and my first pick I had to kind of learn on my own time. And then I started learning guitar and vocals around the same time too. Like my dad played a lot of guitar around the campfire and just around the house. And so self-taught on guitar and vocals and drums. And then sax was like my school instrument. And then I took lessons and had the chance to go post-secondary with it. And I went for sciences instead and stayed in the region. By then I was living in BC. So yeah, I went to UBC. And then like in the second year, the band that I formed that was kind of like a Dave Matthews band, inspired kind of like prog funk with acoustic guitar and sax. That band got signed. It was called Flannel Jimmy. That was like a long time ago. I almost don't want to say what year it was because it was a long time. But yeah, and then that's kind of when I started doing music full time. And then, I had like, I was pretty young, so I was in the service industry on the side until I didn't have to be anymore. And then yeah, the next thing you know, I had gigs and I was hosting an open mic night and experimenting with my own thing and putting out my own stuff and learning.
So and like at that point, what's your setup like? Like what are you?
So like after the breakup of my first college band that got signed and kind of broke up in the creation of our second album, and then like around that same time, I was kind of leaving university. And my setup was like, a loop pedal called the Line 6 DL4, the little green box. And that was like the first looper unit that they had on the market. And this was a long time ago. This is like in the early 2000s. And like, I think the only person that was playing and looping things back then was Reggie Watts. And must have been other guys using the pedal for loops and looping parts and whatnot. The only artist that I knew back then that was doing cool, making vocal beats and looping cool stuff. And it was like half of his stuff is like comedy, but he's also so talented. It's like, Reggie Watts.
Yeah, he's an interesting character, that guy.
Yeah, and like he's got awesome songs and like, so he was like the first looper that I ever saw. And then was like, man, you can really do a lot with that thing. And I started, experimenting with the guitar in it, and like super ghetto Genesis Line 6 DL4 has 2 1/4-inch inputs and 2 1/4-inch outputs stereo. And you can just cluster them. One side I had a beatbox mic into a converter into one side of it, and then guitar going into the other side of it. And it would just like that was the first iteration.
Right.
And then once I got, into it, and we were doing it and making beats and putting guitar riffs and bass lines with the guitar, adding percussion with the mic, experimenting with all these different colors. And okay, well, it's time. And then so the first like branch out from that was adding a mixer. So like add a little mixer. You could add more instruments into the mixer and then put the mixer into the looper.
Right.
And that was like the first iteration of the rig right there.
Yeah. Sick.
Yeah, and then the mixer makes it so that the mixer made an exponential increase in all the instruments you could use.
Yeah.
So then once the mixer was in, I could put a keyboard, I could put a synth, I could put a drum console, and then that's pretty much what you're seeing there.
That's
it's just like
basically it,
yeah. So like everything that now you see now is just basically a newer version of that.
Yeah.
And like now there's a tabletop looper called the 505 that's like allows you to manipulate the song with 5 independent fader channels, and and there's also like undo on each channel, so it's like 10 basically that you can like work with in real time. And it takes a lot of time to sort of figure it out, but if you kind of just stay within what you can do, it's super fun. And it's I don't know, it's a bit much sometimes.
And then is the guitar looper connected to that one, or is it?
So in my Helix on the floor, that the guitar is still going into, that I just primarily use for effects on the sax and the guitar and the bass on the guitar. There is actually a remnant in that unit that I'm still using of the original Line 6 looper. I just never use it. I use it kind of like in transitions or like during endings or like, for like moments. It's kind of a backup looper. There's a backup looper in my rig that I never use. That's the original looper that I started with. Yeah.
So it's like, because I guess now I'm just realizing that Helix feeds into the mixer.
So the Helix is taking the beatbox, or like the sax mic is going into the Helix, and so is the guitar.
Yeah.
And then, so that's kind of like that compartment is going into the main mixer of my rig now. And then there's the bass synth, the other keyboard, the Microcore XL Plus synth. Those are all separate channels going into the mixer. And then the mixer is going into the looper after collecting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my main vocal is kind of just by itself going into the mixer. Sometimes sound guys like to have just the vocal by itself. So like, they're like, what can I mix with you? And they're like, I just give them like, my main outs from the mixer, and sometimes they get the vocal separate as well.
Right. Do you ever loop the vocal though?
Yeah, so if I'm going to loop the vocal, I'll just use the sax mic, and that's going through all the effects in the Helix. And so I can slap on reverb, delay, I can tap tempo the delay. So when I'm looping, a big thing that I have to sort of stay aware of is the BPM. Yeah. And like, so if I lay down a song that starts like at whatever 120 BPM, whether it's something that I played or something that I started with like a top loop, sample that I know that I know for sure because it's in the title of the kit, because I organize it that way that it's 120. Even though when I loop it in, if I tap it on the 505, it'll show me what the tempo is. But yeah, long story short, if the tempo is 120 and I'm messing around with vocals on the Helix, I can tap tempo the delay effects on the Helix too. So like, while the song's going, I can match the delay up and like mess around with that with the Helix.
Sick.
So yeah,
it's an impressive rig you got. It's like 3-4 trips into the house to get it all going, and then How much do you think everything costed?
Well, I know how much I know how much is insured for So I'm gonna say without I'm gonna say roughly, and it's in the neighborhood of like 30K, including the sax.
Okay, yeah.
Depends how much you want to appraise the sax for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about what I was thinking. When you had the case.
Some of the cases are
transfer
actually
case,
worth more than the instruments themselves. Like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of the custom flight cases, if you're gonna be flight ready, you have to have your gear in a flight case. And to be honest, like a lot of my stuff, like the Helix, well, the Helix is actually more expensive, but like my synths and my keyboards and even the looper, like they're not really
Yeah.
that expensive per se. Like they're pretty generic products. Like
Right.
the Micro Korg XL Plus is not a rare synth. My Yamaha Reface CP is not a rare keyboard. The Novation Base Station 2 is not rare. Like, so I didn't pick things that are weird for me to have to replace. And like, I'm not a Jedi on keys either.
Oh,
so
that's interesting. Like, yeah, you kind of pick sort of standard items so that once you are so deep in it, you've learned it all. Like, if you need to replace it, it's not crazy.
And yeah, and also just like I didn't want to go in over my head and out of my depth. Like
Right.
I can figure my way around a Micro Korg XL Plus. Like Micro Korg is probably everyone's first synth. Like it's so easy to use. Like the original Micro Korg with like the wood panel one. Like man, like the Prodigy used that on half of their stuff, and like so many people use that. I use that all the time, and then the XL Plus version of it just had a couple other arpeggiators that I really, really was fun using, and I still use them. And yeah, the Base Station 2, like none of my stuff is like super G keyboards or anything like that I'm gonna, I don't have any like big, expensive, like Nord huge things. Like imagine if my keyboards were full size.
Yeah, that would be fun.
If you're like, dude, like,
Yeah.
it's fun. It's cool. I'll be another half hour.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of flying out, you got a wedding potentially coming up, which was fun. You were telling me about that you were just potentially gonna walk around and play sax.
Yeah, that's not booked yet. But I'll let you know next time I see you if that happens. But
I feel like that's an oddball gig. Like you wouldn't usually get
no
to do that, right?
And like, if it wasn't a January gig, I wouldn't even, I wouldn't normally. But it's you gotta grind. If someone wants you to come play at their wedding, first of all, it's like they're trusting you with their big day. If they just want wandering sax, I get it. That's like kind of like a Instagram Reels kind of thing. Like you see like. And like that's not really what I do, but a gig is a gig, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. There are worse things. I would have. I'll let you know if that goes through. Like my ultimate gig is festival. Doing what I did, but like on a big stage for a bunch of people and a lot of people, and getting a chance to really connect with a big audience is like the best feeling. Like. I got a chance to play a couple big festivals by myself, and yeah, there's just nothing like it, a field full of people and having a good performance, and then, going to the merch table and saying hi to everyone and possibly moving a ton of merch too after that is like, that's the ideal. If I could get to that level, that's kind of, that's the dream level, right?
Yeah,
so.
yeah. What were those bigger festivals?
So a couple years ago, I played Wapiti Festival in Fernie. I had the chance to play a bunch of cool festivals with Apollo Suns recently. In the last couple years, and even just more recently, this last summer, I got booked to play Fire and Water Festival in Lac du Bonnet, and like, there's like a few hundred people there, and it's just a great vibe. People are coming out to see the music specifically. They're not like you're not at a soft ticket event where it's a corporate wallpaper gig and you're there because you're good, but you're also there to not be there.
Right.
Can you turn down a little bit? Like if you're getting asked to turn down, It's a soft ticket
Yeah,
event.
yeah.
Or a wedding, like, and those things are always fun, and it's great to be supported and to be asked to play these gigs, and so it's all fun. It's all fun, and like I'll do it until my body won't let me do it anymore.
Yeah. You mentioned before you moved to BC. Where were you before that?
So I lived in Toronto, North York, until I was finished grade 7, and then my family moved back here. Into to BC, where they were from, and then I was only there in. We moved to Vancouver Island in a place called Nanaimo, and I was only there for high school, so 5 years. But those 5 years were pretty important because I had the same music teacher as Diana Krall. I don't know if you know who that is. She's like a pretty big jazz person, and he taught a couple other artists that are pretty big, like Dave Gogo, Ingrid Jensen, like big jazz names in Canada. And it was a very formative, jazz upbringing from grade 8 until grade 12. We were going to like Music Fest Canada, competing. I was first chair alto sax in like a jazz combo and like 23-piece jazz orchestra all the way from grade 8 until grade 12. So, and then coming out of high school, I had offers to go to a couple different schools for music, but I took a different offer to go for sciences closer to home so I could kind of stay close and do my own music thing, but also maybe do not music. And that ended up not happening.
So yeah, how quick was it that you realized like music is it? Music's the send?
I think right away, because like the first day of UBC, when I was in first year, I bumped into my drummer from the BC jazz band that I was in the year before in grade 12. First day on campus, I'm like, hey, Ryan, what's up? We formed a band like the first week of school. And that ended up getting signed a year later. And so it's kind of just happened naturally. And then, some of the older guys in the band that were a year ahead of us got to graduate, but the guys that were in a year behind, like we just were in third year and we got signed. And next thing you know, I went from doing molecular genetics to opening for the Proclaimers, like national tour.
That's so sick.
That was a pretty like magical intro to the industry. And then like, it was pretty fun and like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've had a lot of really cool opportunities and like awesome experiences in music over the years. Yeah,
man. You had a couple runs this summer of shows.
Yeah.
What'd you hit? What was it like?
The summer is like. It seems so far in the past.
Yeah, actually,
we're in the post Christmas week. But I'm thinking back, and it was like kind of in August. I usually from Winnipeg. I've been in Winnipeg for 5 years since the pandemic. My wife and I bought a house. My wife's from here, so we bought a house here. And so like the last few years, since the reopening from the pandemic, I've been just like touring out to BC. In the summer, also touring, trying to break into Ontario. Like I've done a couple Ontario tours to like try to push past Toronto as much as I can. Like I've only really gone as far as like Peterborough past Toronto, but like pretty good connecting dots down from Winnipeg. But yeah, last summer, so yeah, I got it kind of, there's like bits and pieces where I hit Calgary and Fernie for something in July, and then it was chill. And then my tour really started kind of following the beginning of August, where I got to play Fire and Water Festival in Lac du Bonnet. And then I started going, and then I headed over to BC, and I hit my spots, a couple of new spots, Penticton, Kelowna. I've been really trying to get into there, and finally, I made some good contacts and got to play a cool venue called the Hub on Martin in Penticton. That was on the way home. But yeah, Guilt & Co. in Vancouver is like one of my favorite venues of all time. It's like it doesn't fit that many people. Like you can barely cram 200 people in there, but the vibe and the dance floor and the family there, it's just like so good. And it's as good as any festival gig that I'll have is playing in band at Guild and Co. But yeah, I get to play Whistler. I get to play on the island. And depending on how much I want to grind, like I had my wife and baby fly in from Winnipeg kind of halfway through and like meet me for some of the dates. And then I finished off the tour by myself, in the Shoe Swap and then Kelowna and then Penticton and then home. And like this year coming up, I'm probably going to try to do more, but we'll see. We'll see what materializes and what sort of, I'll book like my anchor dates and then see how meaty I can make it. And I also got to sneak in family visits and stuff. And it's different. It's different than it used to be with like, a van full of musicians and trying to make every last day a hit, try to do, even if it's a Monday, do a radio spot, like do something that's going to make that tour worthwhile, because the overhead of the gas and the accommodations and the food alone is enough to like make you not want to try, especially in this country, the distances we have to drive in Canada to make that happen. It's almost like an impossible dream. But somehow my thing evolved from bands to what I do, and I don't have to split the take with anyone at the end of the night. Like not that it's about money or anything, but it has to work. It has to work a little bit as a model, So yeah.
I guess your main thing is if you're flying, like you said, it's $400 to get the stuff
just the
out
luggage.
there.
Just the luggage fees is $400 extra each way on top of the flight. Yeah, and then there's accommodation. So
you got to be out there for a while, or you got to get paid a bunch.
Yeah, so it's usually only pretty boutique clients that can bring me in by plane, but it happens, and it's fun when it does happen. It's not fun hauling it through the airport and being just imagine all those cases on one thing in the airport. I look like Diana Ross. Like it's like, and they always think it's guns. They're like, "Oh, what kind of guns you got in there?" Like, I'm like, there's people bringing guns this much through the airport in cases, like
this
really
many guns.
Legit. Like, wow. Yeah, I'm Canadian. Yeah, I'm Canadian sniper. Like, no, man.
How'd you get linked up with Apollo Sons?
Ed asked me to come play sax with them. I guess it's 2 years ago now, in 2023, going like in around this time, actually 2 years ago. He was like, "Do you want to come join us on the road coming up in the summer?" And like, I had like a couple month gig in Mexico right after he asked me, so I had time to like get all their charts, and they had charts for everything. And like, I saw it as a huge challenge. Like, I know that they tour a lot, so I was like, okay, well, we're gonna make it work for me too. So I was like, Ed, I'll learn all your songs and learn all your choreography and tour with you for at least a year if you book me as your opener as well at every show that you can possibly do that. So and he said yes, and I got a opening tour with them, as well as playing sax in their band for the summer tour and also for the fall tour in the States. So I got a visa before, Trump got in and made it a lot more difficult for us to tour. So I feel like even though I didn't get the grants that I applied for both of those tours, it was still a win for me, because the experience and like, it was like, picture setting all that up and then tearing it down and then playing in the band after
in a insane high energy band.
Yeah. So that was super fun, and it was really fun touring with them. And like I was semi separated in a way for the first two tours, because on paper I was writing a grant as the opening band, so I had budgeted for being the opening band, and I needed to have my own vehicle to bring all my shit.
Right.
So I had another vehicle, and so I was kind of like, a molecule behind them. So whoever was riding with me got to like you know, sometimes the accommodations weren't the best, but it was fine. But sometimes I did just take my own hotel room, and
Yeah. Dope.
and I thought I was gonna get a grant, and I didn't.
Yeah, that's tough.
It was tough, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah.
How do you feel about that band splitting up? Last show coming up.
Yeah, last show coming up for Apollo Suns in the spring, the park. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big one. Yeah, I mean, I had fun, and it was only about a year and a bit. Like the first year that I joined, I played with them a lot, and then the second year, which was 2024, it was kind of like more divided up. And like last year, yeah, my tour was separate from them. Like, so 2024, you'll see that, like, if you look at my tour date on my Instagram, like there's a bunch of dates that I opened for them, and there's a bunch of dates that I was on my own tour, and kind of that's just kind of like what happens in August. I'll do my spots that are awesome, and they had another sax player from Montana who's awesome too, and she came up and joined them for a lot of those dates. And like in 2024, their tour got messed up by a lot of fires. Like there's now in the summer,
yeah.
forest fires is like, it's like you're touring through like a Bowser level sometimes, and like there's just like the map's just like on fire. You gotta like either go around, or it's not happening, or it's canceled. Something like, it's just like
Fuck.
yeah.
What was you said you had a 2-month gig in Mexico?
Yeah, so it's not happening anymore. They kind of phased out all their fancy fly-in Canadian musicians they were bringing in. But I started this. This is a resort called Acre, in San Jose del Cabo, and it's owned by an owner. One of the owners is also an owner of a bar I played in Vancouver for a long time called the Kiefer Bar. And I just happened to be booked for a wedding in Cabo at a venue next door to Acre called Flora Farms, which is like that neighborhood in San Jose is like kind of like a bougie farm to table wedding venue neighborhood where there's like 3 different places that are like banging farm to table restaurant wedding venue. Some of them have hotel capacity, some of them don't. And I was playing at Flora Farms for a wedding, and I knew it was next to Acre, and I knew Acre was owned by Cam, the owner from Kiefer. And so I messaged him on IG and was like, I'm going to be around. Let's do something. And like I played at Kiefer in Vancouver for almost 10 years from when they opened until I stepped away. And he was like, sounds great. And like they were just happened to be in a period where they didn't have anything going on for live music, and they were looking to, get that going again, because they've had it here and there over the years, but never like a mainstay. This is a long story. So then he's like, let's do it. And so they paid for, a couple more nights in a hotel, and I extended my flight and went over there, and we lined up, made sure we had all the gear that we needed for like speakers and stands and keyboard stands and stuff. And it's actually the same guy that gave me gear for the wedding at Flora hooked me up with gear for the sort of trial couple nights at Acre. And it went really well. And like I was like, this is going really well. Like I wonder what's going to happen. Like it's the second night of my 2 nights here that I added on my wedding gig down here. And then there was a point near the end of my 3rd set at the end of the night where I could see both owners come out. I could see them standing near the corner, and they were both like, how's this going? Like they were like giving a good like estimative listen. Like they're like, how is this going to work? Like would this work? And then I'm like, hey, well, I better kill it now. And like I fucking started playing, and I was like out of songs too. And I was like, shit, this is the end of my 3rd set. And I played an old banger from the 80s that I still could play, that I still remembered, called "There's Something About You" by Level 42. And I was like, dun, dun, ba-do-do-dum, boom, ba-boom, boom, boom, boom. And like it's got a pretty dope bass line riff that starts the loop. And as I'm building it and building this beat and this groove, there's all these like hidden tables at Acre, like in the jungle, sort of, there's like all these nice palm trees, and then you'll go on a little walkway, and there's another table like hidden that they can have large parties and stuff. And one of the large parties was this family from New Hampshire, and like I swear, I'm not even exaggerating, like from like the grandfather down to like the toddler, like 10 of them came out of nowhere. And it must have been like their family's like jam or something. They were like, we love this. I love this song. Yeah. Like the whole, like I got flash mobbed in the moment when the owners were looking at it. Like, cause I was really lucky, but I think I could have maybe got it without that moment, but like, it was like the perfect moment. Like, holy shit, these guys like are jumping. The whole family's jumping to this song, and like everything went well. And Cam, the owner, was like, he took a video, and then like he sent me like a email that night. Hey, they went really well. Yeah. And then they offered me 7 months, like with no month's notice. Like, you want to come back next month until June.
Wow.
And I'm like, I can't. Like, I can't. I can come back for March and April, and I'll find you someone that can do the rest. And so, yeah, my other buddy, who's awesome in Vancouver, ended up doing like the lion's share of, you know, the availability. But I got to go 2 months the first year, 4 months the second year, and last year I went for 1 month, and they didn't even want to have me back for 1 month, but I was already booked to play said owner's daughter's wedding at the thing, so I had a bit of insurance. So yeah, I squeezed the 3 years residency out of them, and it was super fun.
Yeah,
and yeah, and now I have like some clientele down there. So I went down there for a wedding. I played a wedding there a month ago, and I'm going back down there for another party in June. So yeah,
well, that's what's really cool about what you do, is that it's like very versatile for places to play, and it's just like a very like, yeah, you probably play like the night market as like background noise. You do a restaurant. I feel like you just can fit in anywhere and just like elevate the vibe.
Yeah, and like they don't need, if the gig requires wallpaper, like expensive wallpaper, that's, you know, I can do that. You know, if it needs, if they want to, or if they want to let me sing a song, like I have songs that I wrote and that I also cover, you know. So
how do you change the set to
how would I change it? Just be better, have more time to practice. No mistakes would be cool.
No, I mean like how would you change it from like if you're doing the wallpaper gig versus more attention, like a
right.
festival?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry,
be better.
I don't know. Be better. Yeah. So like so for a wedding, depending on the client, like because sometimes, I mean, I played a wedding at Acre 2 years ago for a client that was like a big fan, and like they wanted me to play as much of my original stuff, which is like a huge.
That's sick.
That's such an honor, and like, oh my God, like thank you so much. That's not usually the case. Usually they would want more like accessible covers and stuff that people are going to know from their family, and like, which is fine. And also like maybe if it's a cocktail hour, which is most often I get booked for that or whatever. But yeah, like, you know, you have to be able to, even at Acre in the restaurant, like you got to be able to play really quiet, because like people are spending a lot of money on, you know, Michelin green leaf plates, and they didn't come there to see me necessarily, but I'm part of that restaurant's ambiance, but it's not supposed to be too much ambiance. So but yeah, and then everything from that to like, you know, playing at Fire and Water or Wapiti or whatever festival with Apollo Sons, we got to play Caslo Jazz and like Starbelly Jam and Victoria Jazz Fest, like Winnipeg Jazz Fest. Like it was just like so much energy with a big crowd like that. It's just, you know, obviously that's like the upper echelon of where you want to be, but in, you know, in the gig world, the music world, there's everything up to that, you know.
I guess you maybe take some more time if you're doing a wallpaper gig. Like you can do 7-minute songs each time. You're just more chill, like slower build up.
Yeah, and like depending on how much your client is paying attention, or, you know, because they they still want you to be good and they still want you to do your thing, but you know, if you're having to keep a lid on your volume, it helps to have headphones, I guess. My rig also lets me sort of be loud still for myself if I want to, if I can't be loud in the venue.
Right.
But yeah, it's a fine line. Like, yeah, I don't know. But getting to play loud is always the best.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to play loud.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Is there ever like you're saying like you can be loud in your headphones when you're not supposed to be in the venue, but then is there like a disconnect in your playing where like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you can still. Here's the thing, because when it's like, so for example, if I'm in a restaurant gig or like a lounge gig, and I have to be quieter, I can't be full volume, but I got my headphones on, and it's like at a nice volume for me, so that I can still kind of sing confidently and play confidently, right? So sometimes that actually really has an advantage, because without the headphones in a quieter environment, it's really tough to like summon that confidence, because you're like, and you don't want to be too loud, like
Yeah.
So you can still belt, but have the rig turned down. But no, you don't have to belt, but you could still commandingly do your thing, and you actually get like studio similar takes because you got your headphones on.
Right.
You can really hear. So I feel like sometimes you get accidentally really good takes when you have your headphones on and you're playing at low volume but loud in your headphones.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. And you're talking about, speaking of like being studio ready, basically, you're telling me before we started that you were like, you optimized a little bit for your workflow. You could do a LP in a week.
Yeah, I think
it makes sense, because it's all mixed, it's all here, and you can just kind of do everything live.
And if I'm so like what I was doing when we were sound checking before I started playing my set, that was full of mistakes. I was kind of getting a better flow, just making up stuff and layering elements of a random groove that I just was making up to get the levels. And like, yeah, like it's really easy to, in a relaxed state, put on a bass line or a beat and like start layering things. And it's kind of like you're in the studio.
And it happens so quick, like once you're efficient on the looper and you know how everything's working together, like you build the foundation in like 2 minutes. Yeah.
And like, I think, and like, I haven't really been good at finalizing, lyrics with it, but my goal is to get better again at making lyrics once I have a rich groove that I've done with, a bunch of different instruments really quickly. And I'm getting better at trying to crank out lyrics, but honestly, the older I get, like the harder it is to like effortlessly put out a verse and a chorus to a song. Like I can make everything else in the song and like even hear the melody of the verse and hear the melody of the chorus and everything, but putting lyrics to it now is like the hardest part, 100%. And
I mean, I would say that's the hardest part. That's always been the hardest part for me. But why do you think it's getting harder as you get older?
Because I'm becoming more of a jaded listener. And that goes for myself as well. So like, I wouldn't say, I can say, like slightly jaded, like not like toxically jaded, but like, I know what I like, and I know what is incredible, and I know what I don't like, and I know it's not incredible, and I don't want to make something that I don't think is incredible.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes weird sense. Like it doesn't have to be incredible, but like I have to like it for myself if I want to show it to someone else.
I guess that, like the longer you're alive, the more great music you hear. So it's like your standard just keeps getting higher.
And also, like the older I get, like the earlier I show up for stuff, for gigs. Like I'm like, oh yeah, like I had a gig at the Christmas market. I was there like before the manager was there. I'm like, oh, is anyone here yet? I want to set up, eh? Like,
Yeah.
like, how much stuff do you have, dude? But it's still fun. I wouldn't still do it if it wasn't still fun. And I still feel like, honestly, like I still feel like I have the best work ahead of me yet to come. And I have a bunch of new stuff that I'm working on. And I spent a lot of the last few years curating my samples that I have the freedom to produce beats and make music with. And it's a weird cloud and a weird void to embark on, to be your own, to be a songwriter, producer, composer, whatever, musician. And like in the worlds of like evolving AI tools and evolving gear too, like gear is just like evolving, and we're getting these instruments that do these things that we're like didn't have years ago. We didn't have a 5-channel looper that can let you do all those things at the same time before. But even like non-looping like gear heads, like bands like Royal Canoe that have like each member has like an awesome station of like all their cool things, and everyone's got such a cool addition to the wall of sound. It's just like it's sound, right? So people can tailor their sound these days the best way that they can with like really cool instruments and gear. And if it's fun and you can keep going, because the world needs more music, and the world needs more real music, not just like
for real.
Although like some of the AI stuff is okay. Like I feel bad for Khruangbin, because there's like 5 Khruangbin copycat AI bands.
Oh yeah.
But they sound good because Khruangbin sounds good. So what are you gonna do?
But it just never it like passes the like sonically it sounds like a well-made song, but it doesn't actually hit your soul.
Yeah, like how that's gonna be sad too when you're like, oh, I love this song, and then you're like, oh man, it was AI. Like, you're gonna be like, damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I still haven't heard anything that I like.
I heard. I mean, that's I heard something that I thought was Khruangbin, and it wasn't. It was.
Oh yeah.
It was an AI group that copies Khruangbin.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like Dua Lipa is AI because I'm like, this is too good. Like, this is so polished, and like, there's nothing about this song that I don't like. But I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But where's the fine line? Where's the line between like because they're using AI to make the non-AI better. Like use AI to like.
I think that's where that's
help.
That can be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're using AI to like help make editing less arduous.
Yeah.
And using
or like the big thing, I use AI for captions on the reels and shorts.
Yeah.
Dude, without it, it would be fucking absurd to manually do all the like I still edit the whole thing, and like
you still have to go through and make sure there's no mistakes,
because there's mistakes everywhere, but at least like it lines everything up properly with the words and like makes it so much easier.
Yeah And like there's definitely obviously great uses to it, but nowadays, like with all the information we know now about how much, like, why does it need so much water? Why do it need so much water to have AI? I saw a really funny video of AI. It was like before AI. It's like, you Google, like how to show, like it's like Googling something, and then like here, what is this? And Google says blah blah blah. And it's like, ask ChatGPT, hey, AI, what is this? Hold on a second. You just make a water.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Well, Google got worse with the AI. I don't know.
Yeah,
What, like, I will chat GPT what I would have Googled before. Sometimes,
Yeah.
often, maybe.
Yeah, there's a whole genre of social media content now where it's just people saying, "Don't use ChatGPT like Google or whatever." It's like,
Because the water.
just
not-
like there's so many creators now that are just making content that's talking about like how to use ChatGPT more efficiently or
Oh yeah,
be
yeah.
better at AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You were talking about gear before. What would be the addition, your next addition,
Oh
gear-wise?
man, I can't. I'm not adding anything else. There's no way. I can't add anything else. If anything, I would like take stuff away.
Or I guess, or like upgrade, because you were talking about upgrading the looper.
Yeah, there we
Yeah.
go. That's a reasonable, like that's an exchange. So we can exchange a piece of gear. So yeah, I need to upgrade to Mark II, the RC 505 Mark II looper. I have the Mark I. Sorry, everyone. It's the Mark I is great and it's been great, but it's 16-bit or whatever. It's not. So especially if you're stacking as much different sonic range as I am, like I have it pretty dialed. So, and I know how I have a good sense of my gain staging. So I know when I'm driving it too hard, you can hear it. It's usually when the guitars, a lot of like the sort of MIDI high mid stuff gets pushed too hard, you can start hearing like the signal degrade. And the Mark II is 32-bit, so it's gotta have more bang.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Nice.
gotta do that. But then I have to change the foam in my case to fit the Mark II, which is, I think it's a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So I'll just cut it with it. I'll just cut it with an X-Acto knife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That'll do.
And then at the airport, they're like, "Why is this cut like this, sir?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Bringing all that stuff through the airport in Mexico is not fun.
It does not sound like it.
There's not really a strict visa thing. You just have to either declare or not declare stuff you have with you is for business or not. And like, I can't with a straight face bring that much stuff and say I'm not about business.
Yeah.
So yeah, over the last few years, like, you know, luckily the clients that were flying me down were able to pay for all that stuff as part of the travel expenses. But they ding you for, like, you're allowed to carry 2 musical instruments for free into Mexico. And I think I had something like
That's
10.
even generous. That's
Generous. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. I have 10. So like, here we go.
Yeah.
How much is it per? And they ask you how much each one's worth. And you go from there, and you gave you a percentage. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so happy I don't have to pay for this, because it's just wild. You're like, you guys are running wild with me right now. Like, I have to pay this right now just to leave the airport?
Yeah.
They're like, if you keep your receipt, you don't have to pay for it again. I'm like, okay, I have to like take a picture of this receipt and keep the receipt in the bag with me, my luggage into Mexico forever.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like I gotta pay again. So
But once you bring it in once, you just pay one time to have the.
yeah. So they write like, there's like, I have a receipt with all the list of the manifest with the serial numbers and the name of the thing. And yeah, it was paid back here for this. And even this last gig, they dinged me for other stuff that they didn't ask for before. That's not an instrument, but they're like, all of a sudden they're asking me to pay for the mixer and the drum. I was like, it's something else, like the Helix. Oh yeah, you got to pay for the Helix too. Like, you guys, you told me that I didn't have to pay again. That's Mexico though. That's how
That's weird.
Stuff goes.
Because when you said 2, I thought you were talking about bringing it on the plane, but that's separate. It's just to have it in
with you. Yeah. So like you could have it on the plane, or you can have it in your check luggage, either way. But when you're trying to get to your destination in Mexico from the airport, the last security post is gonna grill you if you have more than two. Guitar and whatever else, and then past that,
Yeah.
you got to pay per item, per value.
Like the value of the instrument? Or
Percentage of it, yeah.
What was the
Yeah.
percentage?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like, I think like not like a big percentage, but enough that like
If you have
you
10.
add it all up. You add it all up. It's like a few hundred US.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a wild practice. I feel like I guess it makes sense. I don't. Does it make sense? I don't know.
It's not. They're not collecting cash, so it's going into the computer. It's going into the the airport company. So it's not like an individual's trying to get money from you.
Right. Right.
Like how you'd get extorted at like a fan boat in the jungle or something. It's not like that. It's more of a corporate version of that, but it's also their version of like your visa. That's like your permission to go there and work, right? So they don't know how much I'm making. So they think that that's just that's the tax,
Yeah.
They don't realize that the tax is like might necessarily be a larger percentage of what people are earning than they think, it's
Right.
but that's just
Because you don't pay tax in Mexico on your.
I mean, it's pretty loose. Like people go down there and stay there for a decade, and then they try to figure out how they can stay there. So like they just end up having to like pay someone that isn't in charge of that. And yeah, it's kind of a gray area, but you can get it. You can figure out how to stay down there. As an expat, if you know the right channels, you can apply for citizenship and stuff like that after like 10 years.
Yeah. But you got to pay tax. Like, would you pay
play a
tax
gig.
in Canada? Or like, how did?
Well, I pay tax in Canada for earnings from a gig, like so.
Right. So and that includes in Mexico.
Yeah, it does because I mean I'm bringing the income home to Canada, so yeah, I have to pay tax on that. I declare that anyway. Yeah, you don't want to FAFO on that front, and like I haven't been in Vancouver for a while, but I knew when I was there, I did over the years hear about musicians that did get audited because they didn't have their stuff together, and like even at a lower scale, you want to have your GST number and have your taxes properly taken care of, because there's nothing worse than having to give money back that I don't know,
Spent already.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
Yeah. How is being a father?
awesome.
Yeah.
It's really not a lot of sleep, but it's a lot of joy. It's a lot of cooking. I basically run a baby cafe now, and like, have a lot of more recipes than I had before. And I can make you a grilled cheese in 2 seconds, man. And it's a good ass grilled cheese too. Like my grilled cheese, like everything is just so much more on demand because it has to be. And my life is about I gotta, on top of washing dishes and cooking and being there and doing all this stuff, you gotta, remember not to swear, remember not to yell, remember not to, all these things that we grew up with in the 80s that were normal. They're not normal, man. People thought they were normal, but they're not. So we gotta try to cleave the toxicity from yesteryear away from our developing little seed. And
Was there a hard element of toxicity to abandon?
no, not really. I mean, yeah, but like stuff that you don't think was, the longer you stay married, the more the toxicity in your upbringing is going to reveal itself and either be dealt with or cause problems,
Right.
And so yeah, like you make it all the way to fatherhood and you're in a relationship, and if you're still together, you want to stay together, you have to work on the parts of yourself that aren't serving the future, and it takes work on yourself to stay with it and to stay positive. And I don't know, it's really easy to just let your programming autopilot you through life, and hopefully I don't piss anyone off, but you're likely not perfect, so you might have to work on some stuff, and that's the easiest, most gentle way I can say that, and I'm here for it, man. Like now that I'm a dad, like I just want to be the best dad that I can be and not be a shitty dad, So yeah,
really the two main objectives.
That's the two main: be the best dad I want to be, and also not be a shitty dad. Yeah.
That's sick. And you got 2 on the way.
Number 2's on the way. In the spring. So get ready. And that's another thing, is like being a dad and trying to do this. Like, doing this is already crazy, and then being a dad, then doing this is like. So like, some of the biggest hurdles, other than just the regular, day-to-day dad stuff, diapers and fun and cooking and toys and reading books. It's just basically toys and books and cleaning and, behavior.
Right.
But within the framework of joy and trying to be better. I was trying to...
Crazy to be a musician while you...
Yeah. So, workflow and like trying to be still productive and still put out albums and still put out singles and do tours and do shows and be practiced.
I can imagine like for practice time, whatever, it's like there's always so much going on with the kid. It's like, how do you even block out the time to be like...
And juggling my wife's work schedule, and then just finding time to be productive when I can, in chunks, and like I can't we block out days of the week where my wife's supported and I don't have I'm not on dad duty for a chunk of hours, so I can. So there's we just gotta you have to block off, you have to schedule it and plan and have childcare set up so you can focus and then when it comes time to focus, you have to actually focus.
Right.
You can't let yourself doom scroll that time away or snack that time away too much, although snacks are great, but I'm just trying to think of things that destroy my productivity even when I do have time. A lot of it's cleaning. Sometimes I'll have a chunk of time and all of a sudden I got the house to myself to work, but I'm like, shit, man, I need to fucking vacuum right now. It's so hard. All I can think about right now is vacuuming and doing dishes. So, but it's a balance.
Yeah, that's a weird one because those things do need to be done. And so you get the time and you're like, oh, I need to do this. But I think those are also things that kind of are always gonna need to be done.
Yeah, and I think the more mature you become as an adult, the more those things are second nature, and you just, that's, you never figured out when you're in your teens that when you're making your lunch, it's better to finish the dishes all the way through and clean the kitchen all the way through each time. So that next time the area is fresh for you or whatever, or the mess doesn't aggregate over, weeks or days. And it's just I guess this is part of maturing or whatever. But, nothing throws you into the ashes more than having, a baby cafe going on. And you're going to find out pretty quick that you didn't do the dishes because they're still going to be there after the last batch of, yams and grilled cheese and apple slices and everything, so but it's fun. So I wouldn't I have no regrets,
Yeah. What are you reading with the youngin?
Everything. He's actually got so many books, but he's also like, we have like a bookshelf behind the couch of my wife's books and my books, and like he's like trying to get into the grown-up books already. I'm like, kid, you're 2. Like, there's no, I can't read you The Hobbit yet. It's too scary, man. Like, it's he's like, what oh, The Hobbit? Yeah, like, I'll show you. Like, this is sick. Like,
Yeah.
you got dragons and hobbits and everything and wizards, but it's like, it's too scary. He's only 2. I don't want to like, but yeah, we're reading. We go into the library and pull out 20 books at a time.
Nice.
I get calls for overdues all the time. My library cards is like,
I feel like they don't actually care. I don't get the calls, but like I've returned books on many occasion, like several days late, and there's nothing like.
I get a call. I'll get a call if we forget about one. Like, if one gets like lost in the house, and
if it's been like
doesn't
months.
make it. Yeah, it's been like a month. They're like,
Yeah.
Clifford, the big red dog, goes to school, is still missing.
Yeah. Clifford the Big Red. I was big on Clifford the Big Red Dog.
I love Clifford's. It's pretty good, and there's a lot of French ones too. We're trying to keep as many languages in front of him. This is a big language learning age too. So, and he spent a lot of time in Mexico as an infant the last couple years. So,
Are you like fluent in French?
I took French immersion in Toronto until I was in grade 7, and I could converse. I could say I'm fluent, but like it would take some practice to get my vocabulary back up.
Yeah.
But like, je peux parler un peu de français. Like I can
I like a
understand.
good accent too. Yeah.
I can understand and converse, but once I like do an intro sentence or two into a conversation, and then the francophone starts going faster, I'm like, oh,
they speak so fast.
Ralentissez. And same with Spanish too. Like I learned quite a bit of like greetings and slang in the last few years in Cabo, but like not a lot of like conversational Spanish, but like I know a lot of greetings and I know how to pronounce it really well. So a lot of my coworkers at the resort, like I could like, it's like ¿Qué onda? Like whatever greeting I like, ¿Qué tranza? ¿Qué tranza por tus venas, carnalito? Like all these like sort of like slang greetings I know how to say really well. And then if I try to use one of them, then people think I speak Spanish. And then they start rattling off Spanish really fast. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Lo siento. No, only habla poco español.
Yeah.
So, but it's fun. I would love to learn more Spanish.
Yeah. I'm just surprised that like, because I was put in French immersion as well. I did until grade 12, but before that there was no like other languages in the house. They weren't like, parents weren't trying to get me to read French or anything. Like, is your wife French at all?
She can speak French. She had French in school, but she's English. She's not like francophone or anything. Yeah. But yeah, we have French books and we have Spanish books too.
Get them reading languages.
That's awesome. We have because we spent quite a few months in Mexico when he was learning how to read too. So I mean, when he was like 1 and 1.5 or whatever, and there like even in our condo in Cabo, like there was like a lot of books in Spanish. And we have quite a few in the house still, and we're trying to like have more French too. So Spanish and French, we're trying to get him into it. Mm-hmm. Other ones, I don't know. I mean,
I think those are the ones that make the most sense because they also like complement each other very well. Like,
yeah, if you know French well enough, learning Spanish is a lot easier.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
and Italian too if you have that.
Yeah,
if you're ever going to go there.